is a team that in the last year and this year have been also very strong. I think for a lot of people, surprisingly strong. And they're also doing it in such fun ways too.
Right.
They are one of my favorite teams in this tournament, and I think one of the big fan favorites just because they come in with setups that are outside of the box and yet work really well.
So the bans for this match is CVA banned the Maulers and the Gila, and Hydra banged out the Tingo and the Loki.
Yes, I was like watching these bans live, and it was funny. Like you'd see the little delay as like CVA is choosing the first ban, and then it popped up Maulus, and that was the point where my respect for CVA. Yep, a bit more because that Maulus is such a key part of the setup that Hydra had brought out earlier. Some people might see that Artie Sleipnir setup and say, oh well, maybe you ban out Sleipnirs or something to block it. But actually, the Sleipnirs are much less integral to that setup than the Mauluses are.
Right.
It's really a dam setup that happens to have Artie Sleipnirs rather than an Artie Sleipnir team that happens to have dams. And so they decided they wanted to make Hydra bring out something different. And then Hydra switched up their bans. They had banned the same things the first two matches because they wanted to bring out the Artie Sleipnirs with dams, and so they didn't want to face Marauders in the last two matches. Now that they couldn't bring out the Mauluses, they've switched up their bans, which suggests they're going to bring something different. And new Hydra setups are always going to be fun to see.
Yeah, it's taken too long to force them to fly something new, I feel like, so now it's good. Every time the bans came in and they weren't like the Maulus, or even the Sleipnir for that matter, which I do agree is the weaker ban, they just got to comfortably kind of drift through with this really capable setup. So I'm hoping to see something crazy from Hydra, and we're guaranteed to see something crazy from CVA.
Yep, and CVA has also done a great job of like bucking expectations and setting expectations, then bucking them for their MR roleplay. So they're, of course, one of the most famous role-playing groups in EVE. They're dedicated to the MR Empire. And so people might expect them to fly MR ships. And they've actually, the last two tournaments, they've opened up with all MR teams, or mostly MR teams.
And I think they did this year as well, right?
This year they had the Damnation Sacrilege.
Right.
But then what they do is once they've set the expectation and people start playing into that, they then switch it up. So then last time they brought a bunch of Gilas and Sleipnirs.
Yeah, they brought actually something really similar to what Hydra brought. And they ran Sleipnirs and Gilas. I don't remember if they were artillery or not, but they flew it really well. So it was kind of nice to see them take the flavor of the tournament and do it well after that Damnation Sacrilege rush, which was I don't know why. I just love the concept of somebody saying that Damnation is primary in a 12v12. That's got to be heartbreaking, and I love it. I can feel the pain on comms from here.
I want to see smart bombing Maulers.
Of course you
Smart
do.
bombing Maulers, yes.
Of course you do.
The Maulers do have a 100% win rate in this tournament.
Do they?
Yeah.
They
went the one match yesterday.
New meta, smart bombing Maulers.
My approach to this tournament would be unbeatable.
Yeah.
I feel.
Well, there's always the ATXII. So
yes, there is always that.
Yeah.
But before we go on, we've talked a little bit about how CVA have been mixing it up. What is to stop them from, like, we talked about mind games a lot, and I'm trying to sort of get my words around the mind games that this might be bringing. So Hydra Reloaded are saying we don't want tinkers, shield tinkers. Yeah. But what if they just don't care?
Yeah, I mean, so whatever Hydra's bringing, I think they probably have a setup that it doesn't do great against Tinkers. What they probably also saw is that because CVA banned Maulus first, Maulus first ban would be a really common ban if you wanted to bring your own Tinker, because Tinkers are very vulnerable to dams. So those two factors probably contributed to them banning out the shield tinkers. As for what they're going to bring, who knows? Like, we haven't seen CVA bring out shield tinkers, so Hydra is not trying to predict CVA setups. They're probably banning around their own weaknesses to their own setups rather than trying to ban out CVA stuff, which is smart because CVA has been unpredictable enough that you're not going to be able to, I think, get on top of them with that. They, in a lot of ways, they're managing to win the mind games by just not really playing into them very much. They just bring whatever they want to bring.
That's the next level of mind game, though.
And they don't let themselves get too wrapped up, I think, in it. It's very easy to get yourself, especially at this high level when you're like far into the winner's bracket, to like spend hours like agonizing over what to bring. And CVA has kind of shown that they just bring a variety of setups and then just count on those setups being able to do well with good piloting.
That's a hallmark of a good team.
Yeah, they typically have that whole piloting part of it. They're all right.
Yeah.
They do pretty good.
Double-clicking in space can be pretty hard.
And of course, when it comes to piloting skill, Hydra is probably regarded as the most skillful team in this tournament. They are really well known for executing amazingly well on their teams.
And also for great ads. It involves
Yeah.
a lot
Yes.
of yelling. Yeah, so.
When the flexing ad for Hydra Reloaded has been playing during the Alliance tournament here, Apothny, which has the first part of the day off now, has been flexing along with him. We've tried to catch it on camera twice, but he's a slippery one.
He actually looks really similar to that guy.
He
Minus
does.
the tattoos.
Yeah.
So.
And maybe a fairer complexion.
Yeah, slightly more English.
Slightly.
Yeah, but
Sort of the milky white of a good tea, you should say. Let's not make any more fun of the Englishman because the match is ready. Your predictions, gentlemen.
I think Hydra is actually going to obliterate CVA. I think CVA is going to do good once they go down to losers bracket after this. They're going to win some more matches, but not this one.
I love CVA, but it takes a lot to make me not circle Hydra on a sheet, and this isn't it. So I've got Hydra selected.
yeah, I've got to get on the scoreboard, so I picked Hydra as well.
I'm going with Hydra too. Their tournament expertise is just something we can't ignore. So let's see what happens.
And we're back for CVA versus Hydra. This is Elise Randolph, joined by Bacchanalian for day 6 of the 12th Alliance tournament. And CVA did it. They brought what you all wanted to see. They brought their Damnation Sacrilege team. And Back, why don't you tell us about a little bit about the other teams?
Well, I love this team that CVA brought, but I was just commenting to Elise while we were at the desk that going up against Hydra Reloaded, you can't bring the same setup. They will have practiced against it. They will have torn it apart on their forums, so they're going to know how to handle this. But what we're looking at are 2 Damnation, Oneros, 3 Sacrilege, 3 Heretic, Malediction, Tormentor from CVA, whereas the Hydra has brought a double Eos, double Ishtar, Oneros, Carries, Celestis, triple Heretic, and Malediction. So what we're looking at is CVA bringing basically the same setup we saw from them earlier. It's a very tanky setup that does actually a surprising amount of damage for what it is. It's going to take a long time to chew through this, but Hydra, they got around the Mollis ban, bringing Celestis and Carries. They already look like they've lost the damp war on the Celestis side. Oneros is damped down, however, and the Carries is damped. So CVA doing a good job of counter damping here. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, we've got the Hydra team there. They came in very close to each other. Again, these guys came in like 50 kilometers one another, and Hydra team is burning back, throwing their drones at the CVA team, and just trying to get control of the damp war. They lost it initially a little bit, but now it looks like it's well in their hand, and bam, Tormentor
they've taken
down.
out Tormentor. So what it looks like they did there, they throw the damps on the Oneros to cut down his range. Hydra know exactly what his range is going to be. They've done these numbers. They know how many damps to put on him, and then they can take out these Tormentors who are probably going to be out of range very quickly, and they know this. So here goes the second Tormentor now. CVA not really applying a whole lot of damage. We have a target painter on a Heretic. Kadesh Priestess starting to take a little bit of damage now. Web on that Heretic. Newts on that Heretic. So we're going to wind up looking like a trade of 2 Tormentors for a Heretic here. If reps did land on him, we'll see if they can power through that.
Yep, Kadesh is a little out of position here, but it's okay. The Heretics were really, really good at killing the Tormentors. Heretics are fantastic at killing light tackle.
And interesting, we're seeing the Oneros take damage now. His shields are gone. Sar Gunnar on the CVA team, well, he's starting to go into armor. We'll see how his tank holds up against the damage applied to him here.
Oh wow, this EOS is melting fast. Or Oneros is melting fast.
This is going to really spell trouble for CVA. That said, I mean, Damnation, Sacrileges, these aren't easy ships to tear apart, but this Oneros is going to go down. And this is going to spell trouble. Not a single ship down on the Hydra side yet. Malediction now starting to take damage, but reps on him instantly.
Yeah, Hydra playing this perfectly. Duncan Tanner is the closest one to them. I think he's just baiting them a little bit. He's not even taking damage. CVA Oneros down. And yeah, Hydra just going to run away with this one. They've got the Dampor firmly under control. We'll probably see them killing these heretics off because that's the biggest problem for them.
Yeah,
And
really. I mean, this is what I was saying. You can't bring. You can't. Is that a maledict? No. You can't bring the same setup against.
Yeah,
against
Hydra has had 2 weeks to deconstruct this CVA setup. Though at the same time, they weren't kiting too well. They got a hard SP tackle.
Hard SP is tackled. The EOS has stripped the shields into armor now. There are remote reps on him, but we'll see. The damage of these Sacrileges and Damnations is going to be pretty substantial. Interestingly, Sten Matsson's shields are gone, so it looks like they are going for a Damnation here. EOS is holding in armor, just a little bit of damage. A Heretics can go down for Brandy Star. He's into structure.
Yeah, we're going to get 2 Heretics falling at the same time.
And Alpha Bestie's going to go right after him. Although he did get up to pretty good speed, I think he's not going to be able to outrun the drones. EOS, again, still in damage. He's nuded, target painted, and webbed, but
now there's a swarm of armor maintenance bots coming onto hard SP, so he's going to tank just fine in the face of these Damnations and Sacrilege. Even though the Damnations and Sacrilege are like right on his face, and that hard SP is the only thing he can lock, bam, boom, headshot, Sacrilege there, Heretic down. Yeah, again, Hydra just going to run away with this one. They got a little bit out of position, but they know really well this CVA setup. Had 2 weeks to deconstruct it, so they're just going to
And Webb's lost off of hard SP, so...
They just gave up. He didn't escape. They just gave up and going for something else.
I mean, at this point, it is kind of, we have a Sacrilege and armor Gen Silex, so Hydra just, like you said, absolutely taking this team apart. They knew exactly how to handle it, and this is really the problem. I mean, they're going to prepare for it. Even if they don't expect to see that setup, they're going to know how to use this setup to beat it. I flew with Hart SP and his team in an Alliance tournament, the FanFest tournament, and really showed up for day 2 or whatever it was. We were actually flying against you.
Yeah.
And Hart had a full dossier of every setup he thought PL could possibly bring, given the meta, and exactly how we would handle it. Down to, I was flying a curse, what newts go on what. So
these guys are definitely 20 pros when it comes to it.
I mean, it's really, truly amazing how well they prepare for every match. They know every module and which ship it goes on right away. They probably don't even have to call out, you're on this, you're on that, besides, you know, which target you're assigned to for your damps. And really, another Sacrilege now into structure. This is not going to be a good time for them. And let's see how tanky these Damnations actually are, because it's the only thing left on the field.
Yeah, that's about all we'll be able to see from the rest of this match. But, yeah, CVA, really a fan favorite. They're not eliminated yet. They go down to play, I guess, the winner of...
Let's see.
Shadow Cartel and Waffles, maybe?
94, yeah. No, Afterlife Coven.
Okay, Afterlife Coven. So CVA will be flexing their Amar muscles again later today, and Hydra will play again at the end of the day. And we're just watching some Damnations
They'll play against Nulli Secunda, who won the last one.
So. Oh, yeah, there you go.
So that'll be another good match. But both of these teams have to go on to play a second match. We're going to start seeing a lot of this now, and that's going to start playing into, you know, how good are these pilots at bouncing back right away, especially after coming off a hard loss with the setup that CVA really liked. We'd run against it. Rocapel run against it in practice quite a bit. It's a tough setup to chew through, but really, what else do they have up their sleeve? You feel like if they've got another ace in the hole, they'd have pulled it against Hydra. Here goes the Damnation down.
Yeah, you
just
probably want to bring your best against Hydra. So I don't know. Maybe they're just playing the long game. Maybe they're like, yeah, the losers bracket's where we're gonna make our plays.
Well, I mean, I think
no
CVA
one expects Damnations twice.
Definitely going to be a strong team in the losers bracket there. Oh, he's commenced self-destruct on his Damnation, but I have a feeling Hydra will actually power through before he goes down. It looks like these Damnations aren't super tanky. I think they're probably fit for a little more damage. They're not an obvious primary, so why not?
Yeah. Oh man, they are melting super fast.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to make that self-destruct timer.
But it's nice of him to like try. Like,
right, rather than just.
He's not going to make this stream wait. He's a fan of Twitch chat. Apparently.
Well, and again, more time he's got to prepare. I mean, it's only 4 minutes, but 4 minutes more time for them to kind of regroup and think about, okay, what do we do later today? Let's analyze our opponent. We know who it's going to be now. And
boom,
congratulations to Hydra. They continue on in the winners bracket as one might expect, and CVA are down to the elimination bracket. So we'll see them both again later today. And with that, we're going back to CCP Garnet at the desk.
Welcome to Wormhole Space, man. We be flying tech trees and smoking them trees. This Avowed Alliance represented by Pandora Spear and Viper Fleet Inc.
And with that, CVA go down to the elimination bracket and have their backs up against the wall later today. But the last match of the day has now been decided that it's going to be Nully versus Hydra.
Yes.
That's going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, the last 4 matches are going to be all once again returning to winners bracket matches, and they're all going to be pretty exciting.
It's going to be the quarterfinals, so to speak, of the winners bracket. And yeah, there's going to be some fireworks there.
Yes, yes indeed.
But what did you guys think? Hydra Reloaded brought us something we haven't seen from them before.
Yep, but it is something very similar to what we've seen from a lot of other teams. The EOS core, like as you'd expect from Hydra, lots of damps, lots of control, excellent piloting to generally keep themselves out of range of those damnations and sacrileges, and just win the support war. I mean, you saw both sides had a wing of 3 heretics, but the heretics from Hydra were doing the job a lot better.
Right. Yeah, it just, as much as I was cheering for the CVA team, and I like that they chose style, bringing a heavy-plated, slow team against somebody like Hydra, I think is a mistake. I mean, to Bacchanalian's point, flying anything you've already flown, the exact same thing, is probably not going to work. Because even if they only looked at it for 5 minutes, they still looked at it. And they've looked at every single team that's come out, and they've gotten comfortable with, oh, well, we could do this. So I think it was a really good response to the bans for Hydra. That was no surprise. But I feel like CVA gimped their mobility a little too much against a team that is so heavily reliant on control and positioning. So I would have maybe chosen something that moved a little bit more.
I don't know. I actually kind of feel the opposite about the bringing the MR setup thing. I mean, I guess you could try to win the like setup war, but that sounds really hard to me. I kind of like the idea of flying something you're comfortable with. I feel like Hydra matches are often just about execution. They don't win necessarily with like incredibly weird or like I feel like they bring well-rounded setups. They bring setups that can fight against anything, and then they just execute better than everyone else.
Sure.
So I feel like flying something you're actually comfortable with gives you a little bit better shot about executing them. I don't think their setup was particularly an anti, like, Amar roleplay setup.
No.
It was just strong,
I mean, because
they just flew better.
Right, and I mean, Hydra didn't take a high mobility setup. They just had ships that were slightly faster and they were positioned much better.
And, you know, so I think it would also be reasonable to bring some variation of other things we've seen, like their Gila setup they brought last time. But I think trying to, like, outsmart Hydra in the setup war is probably pretty difficult, and you're probably better served just flying something you feel good about so that you can execute well and maybe have a shot at outplaying them, although of course that's difficult as well. And that's kind of my more general reaction to the match. It's just Hydra's just so smooth. They just don't make mistakes. They know exactly how to handle most situations, even like regardless of their like on paper preparation for a particular lineup, they just can come on the field and outfly people. And I don't know what you do about that. They're just really good.
Yes, you just have to try and bring your best, I suppose.
Yep.
But they seem to have perfected this kind of setup that we've been seeing a lot, like yesterday. But
yeah, I mean, they executed very well with it. The support war was obviously something they did very strongly. I think it may not have been, like, to say whether other teams may have done it better, you'd have to kind of see them use it against a number of other teams, I think. But yeah, they obviously executed extremely well.
But this still isn't the end. Both of these teams will show up again, and maybe CVA will meet them later.
I mean, I think CVA's got a really good chance later today. They're up against who?
They're up against the winner of Coven or Afterlife.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that sounds like a match that they have a really good shot in. So,
and it is worth mentioning. I almost forgot this, but the Damp War was won. Actually, surprised Hydra lost it. They did have the Celestis. They didn't have their beloved Maulus, so they got a little bit behind on the Damps early, but they still couldn't protect their Oneros on the side of CVA. So that was part of the beauty of that setup. Is even in, say, the Sleipnirs, had the Sleipnirs been damped, it would have been difficult.
Yeah.
With an EOS, it's not that way.
Right.
So they got right in there, blew up that Oneirus really quickly. So it was tough for CVA.
Definitely.
Yeah. That, I think, should be the end word of the winners bracket matches for now, because we're going back into the elimination bracket where teams are facing the possibility of just going home.
And so these are teams that are going to be doing things like bringing out other flagships and bringing out like the best setups.
Let's hope we see a flagship, because in the next match we have Razor Alliance
Yes.
versus Solar Fleet. The often talked about Raven State issue.
Yeah, we're just not going to we're not going to stop badgering them about that until they bring it.
No.
Or they're
if you put it on a sheet, if you announce
Yeah.
it somewhere, you can't just not show up with it.
Agreed.
Put your money where your mouth is, so to say, or
would be
where
pretty
your word
amazing.
is.
Yeah, there was a lot of mouth there, so there should be a lot of money. Yeah.
So Razor Alliance banned out the Worm and the Sleipnir, while Solar Fleet banned out the Scimitar and the Rattlesnake.
Ooh, so armor, maybe? Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, Solar Fleet has always liked these very battleship-heavy teams. So like they're a big fan of running armor battleships in the past, traditionally. And much to kind of my displeasure, they tend to run under 12 people. But yeah, if you're afraid of a team that's going to be kiting a lot, knocking the Scimitar out of the equation is a good way to prevent that.
This also leaves the Hilo open.
I was gonna say the worm ban is pretty interesting. It's the first time
Right.
we've seen that, I think, and even though it's been kind of one of the most common, in a way, most powerful ships this tournament, so interesting step there.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, not that removing the worm eliminates the Gila, but
The
I
guy,
love-
Lorenzo?
This is the
Oh,
second
Lorenzo
time someone's
Valeri.
gone out of their way to pronounce something incorrectly again.
well, you know, after that's all that the forums talk about, I just have to, I'm going to stand firm on this whole Gila
Great.
issue. But I think the worm is such a powerful ship, and the worm is one that can really capitalize on positioning mistakes in a way that the Heretic can't. So the Heretic can win you the support war, the worms can straight up win you the war. I mean, they can chase down logistics in an ASB reload and really close out, which is cool.
Yep.
So your predictions for this? I'm going with Razor Alliance myself because I want that State Raven.
Seconded.
I'm going to say Razor Alliance, though I think if Solar Fleet manages to bring 12 human beings, then I think they have a very good chance.
I was about to circle Razor and like something felt really weird about it, and I can't explain it, so I switched, and so I'm hoping for Solar win.
All right. So let's send it up into cyberspace base from the table of people who can't pronounce.
War target has engaged bait. Jump, jump. Target has been broadcast. Kill the pod. Red versus blue, shooting people in the face all day, but best friends after.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Bacchanalian here with Elise Randolph. And Alliance Tournament 12, Day 6. We have match 89, Razor Alliance versus Solar Fleet. And Solar Fleet has done the same thing they've been doing and brought an undermanned setup.
Yeah, but they brought a lot of DPS with that undermanned setup, and they said, "Screw you, Logi. I'm just taking. I need more space for DPS." They are taking 2 Ishtars, 3 Navy Vexers, 3 Gilas, and Razor are taking more of a kiting setup, with actually 12 people. So that's pretty good. They've got a Vulture, Bassi, 3 Gilas, 2 Serbs, and then like a Berlin support wing, which probably have damps. And they came into the beacon both pretty far away, so they're very far from one another, perfectly far. Razor came in at 30, Solar came in at 50, And here we go.
Yep, Gecko's out on the field already from the Solar Fleet group, and they're coming right across the field. They have we have I forget what is burning across the field here to
It is a
get some
crow.
tackle. The crow is coming in for tackle, so
Maestro is trying to get some tackle on this Solar Fleet team. Solar Fleet are all damped out, but it looks like they got their drones out first. So that first target that they're going for is going to eat it.
yeah, it's a very dangerous tactic from a crow to just burn into that gang, but it looks like so far he's not taking any damage. In fact, oh, there goes Vector Navy issue for Solar Fleet. Mr. Mass has his shield stripped right away. We will see where his tank lies. The Basilisk, meanwhile, seems to be the primary target on the Razor Alliance side, so Solar going right for that logistics with all their damage. You got to think they've got enough DPS to break through the ASB right now.
Yeah, right now they do. And Solar have all their drones, even though they're pretty well damped out. All their drones are currently shooting this Bassi. Pretty clever move to ban the Simi and just try and zonk through the Bassi with bonus drones.
And wow, the crow, there he goes. So that's the danger. You go in for that hero tackle, and he is gone. Mr. Mass Vector Navy issue was webbed for a minute, and that's obviously what the crow's role was, but the crow is no longer. Meanwhile, the Basilisk has brought... Whoa!
Whoa!
Was that a boundary violation? He seemed to just absolutely vanish from armor all the way through.
No, that was just the drones catching up and just murder zoning him.
That hurt. So another Vector Navy issue for our Angel.
Oh, never mind. I horribly lied. That was, in fact, a boundary violation.
Okay, I was going to say that is an awfully large volley. So we have a second Vector Navy issue taking a fair bit of damage. He's into armor now. So Razor Alliance getting a freebie from Solar Fleet, and really with that few ships, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a large part of the DPS gone, unfortunately. Solar are trying to do this no logi max kite thing. It's working okay, I guess. I mean,
They're going to have to be careful.
this Bassie's going to die.
They've got a Gila at 107. He's going to be flirting with disaster. That Vector Navy issue is going to die at the same time as the Bassi, though. It's not a good trade. Two Vector Navies for a Basilisk?
Yeah, that's actually a horrible trade.
So this is really dangerous stuff for...
This is the issue Solar Fleet's going to have now. They're damped pretty well, and they've got so few ships that Razor can keep them all damped. If they can just get MacTep perma-damped, then nothing here will die. Solar will never be able to assign their drones if Razor can get damps on MacTep's Ishtar.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have the Merlin of the Boss, stripped through shields into armor. We have the Gila of Trendafil taking some shield damage. Boss is at a sliver of structure. He should be going down momentarily, and I think that was there he goes. The Gila of Trendafil, meanwhile, through his shield. So there is an awful lot of damage still left on the field. These guys are doing a really impressive job of actually applying it despite the damps.
Yeah,
Two Ishtars undamped now, actually, and that Gila is going to go down. He's in low armor going into structure. This is still a match.
This is, yeah, it's probably going to be...
Oh, there's the Gila for Eleanor 84 on the Solar Fleet side, stripped of his shields now. Question is, does he have an ASB or of any sort? Looks like Trendafil's
shields
pulling
are
back
going
a
up.
little bit of shields. Come on, guys. This is really, really close. Like, which one's going to go down first? And really, that may be the turning point in the match here.
I think Trendafil's going to do it. He's burning it now.
30,
Solar aren't able to
2900.
apply their drones anymore.
2,900 meters a second with it.
He's
Eleanor
zooming.
Gila is at 117, 119, 120, 22.
Oh, might have a boundary violation
123,
here.
124,
Oh.
and he is down for a boundary violation. Oh,
Yeah.
horrible mistake cost Solar Fleet.
Yeah, well, he was kiting really well. It just so
It
happens
just
that a
kited
boundary...
all the way out.
doesn't
Meanwhile,
really like
Trendafil's Gila is actually at 115 himself. He's going to run out of the boundary too if he's not careful.
Oh, he's
in
got a
structure
turn, and now
anyway,
all
though.
those drones caught
129.
him.
Yeah, he's going to go down here. Alien GTR is Ishtar stripped right through armor. He is going to go into structure. So this is an absolute brawl now. We have a Merlin down on the Razor Alliance side. Solar Fleet on points just barely behind, but losing this Ishtar is going to just really
now they're
hurt
way
them
behind
now.
the 8 ball. That Ishtar for Solar Fleet that died, he tried to activate the MJD to run away, but he just kind of blew past the MJD a little bit, it looks like.
You know, that's
so.
really dangerous, too, because you can turn around while doing that if you don't activate it right. We've
Yeah.
seen that happen. The Heretic against Pandemic Legion, in fact, I think he overran it, turned back, activated, faced the wrong direction. Boom. So we have
Naki's Healer, meanwhile, is... Well, he's got the drones on him now.
yeah, but we
But
have the
MacTep's probably
Mactep's
gonna die
Ishtars
first,
in
yeah.
armor. Yeah, that's going to be going down well before that Nanaki's Gila does. I really feel like Solar now are just too far behind.
Yeah, it's when you bring one of these